Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Doctorate, and today I'm actually going to, title this video like eye-opening, because today we are going to discuss something that I think is probably going to be eye-opening for a lot of people. I have been asked several times by subscribers and just viewers in general. And by the way, if you are just a viewer and not a subscriber, now is the time to hit the subscribe button and be part of this community. But a lot of viewers / subscribers have been asking me to review Badlands Ranch dog food. And I've tried. I have tried. I've emailed them. I've emailed them as a veterinarian. I have emailed them as a private consumer. I have tried, and I've not been able to get it. And so I filmed a little short saying, if you get the information and you can, you get that dry matter analysis and you provide it to me, because I can't continue to hound them. If you get it to me, I will do the review. Well, finally, a subscriber forwarded or emailed me and said, hey, I finally got in contact with the Badlands Ranch, and unfortunately they are saying that the information that we need is proprietary and we can't give it to you. And she had two questions. One obviously is the dry matter basis. If you follow this channel, we like to know the dry matter basis at the least for calcium, phosphorus, protein, fat, and fiber. And then she also went so far to ask them what it means, what the cooking temperatures are of this food. And we're going to go to the website and we're going to see why she asked that question. But the long and the short of it is they told her they couldn't give her the information. The information was proprietary. And so that kind of ruffled my feathers, and I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm going to get this information, if it's the last thing, it's the last thing that I do. And so I went on their website, and you can follow me there now. It's badlandsranch.com. And I guess this is one of those kind of like subscription thing. I guess you can buy it per bag too. If you hop over to the website, they've got food. So they've got the Superfood Complete Bison and Beef, then the Superfood Just Beef, Superfood Chicken, Superfood Complete Lamb, and Superfood Wild Fish and Turkey. And so those are the diets. And I guess what they are saying that they are is they're air-dried, nutrient-dense formulas that contain everything your dog needs to thrive with none of the harmful extras. And I think that is actually really interesting. And again, this can be eye-opening. Maybe it's a really interesting statement to put on there, considering the information that we are getting provided by the company. Now, if someone from Badlands Ranch marketing / development team is available to clarify some of the things, that would be great. We'll do a little maybe post video or do something in the description box where we clarify some of these things. But I'm going to go based on the information that I have available to me to date on February 25th, 2025. Information that I am getting, and you will see that, because what I did was I went to this little box here on the bottom and I clicked the live agent. And so I actually had two live agents, so we're gonna have two live agent things going. I had one on my phone because I like to multitask. I had one live agent on my phone through the website, and I had one live agent on my desktop through the chat, and I was doing two different things at the same time. One, I was asking about dry matter analysis, and the other, I was asking about the cooking temperatures to try to get this information for you guys and for this person that was unable to get it. And so you can see they have a couple diets. There's only 5. At first I asked them for information on all of them, and I was getting absolutely nowhere with that. And so then I just finally was like, well, can we just focus on the beef? Can we just focus on that? So we're gonna go to the beef right now. And we're gonna just do a little look-see here. You can buy, it looks like a single bag, one payment of $59.95. You can get 3 bags at $170.85, or you can get 6 bags for $323.70. It does look like it's also a subscription service, so you can sign up for the subscription service as well. Of course, they've got all your normal marketing stuff on there. 87% beef, beef heart, beef liver, and salmon. So they've got some salmon in their beef formula. 13% seeds or vegetables, and 0 corn, soy, wheat, or pellets. It's a high-protein adult dog food. So far we've got a couple call-outs. First call-out is it's air-dried. Second call-out is that it is... what was it on the original page? Here they're saying no corn, wheat, soy, or pellets, and that it is a high protein, so high protein. And then on the original page, we had to call out that it was everything that our dogs needs to thrive without any of the harmful extras. Okay, and so let's take a look. We're going to use the PSS system for as far as we can get with the information that is provided, and then we're going to go through the chat sequence, so my experience with the chat sequence. Okay, so first thing that we're looking for is the guaranteed analysis. Okay. So, Badlands Ranch, superfood, beef formula, adult dry dog food is formulated, so not feeding trials. They just did a formulation and put it into computer, or they had a formulation they thought they wanted to do, and so they, made sure that that made sense or whatever, but they didn't feeding trial it. They just used a calculated formula. To meet the nutritional requirements established by AFCO, dog nutrient profiles for adult maintenance. So they do get 1 point there because it actually was adult maintenance. So let me write that down as we keep track here. So 1 point for that. We're going to come back to this little blurb here where it says air dried, or actually let me just look at it right here for a minute. High heat cooking can add unhealthy things to your dog's food. That's why we air dry Superfood Complete, so it gets cooked low. It gets cooked low and slow. This means it has the convenience of kibble, but can retain more of the nutrients. So right here they're saying air dried, and this is what I wanted clarification on. Air dried means low and slow. And so the subscriber wanted to know what exactly is that low and slow temperature, concern for food safety, et cetera, and they were not able to provide that information, so I looked into it a little bit further, and we'll get to that in a minute. The other thing that I wanted to see on here, actually that's about it. They've got their ingredient list there, and we're gonna give them a couple points for that. We just want to make sure the food is not grain-free, and it is not raw. So here they're saying that the food is cooked low and slow, so we're going to assume that it is not a raw food because they are saying right on the package that it's cooked low and slow. So we're going to give them a point right now for that. And then down here we can look through the ingredient list, but we can also see here they are toting that they are grain-free. So Dog Food Grain-Free Product of the Year Award. So they're going to lose a point for that because it's actually not really necessarily a good thing. There is some controversial and there are some potential health concerns there. There's also no reason to do it. There literally is no medical benefits to a grain-free diet, but there are potential medical implications, poor implications to it. So there's really not a reason to do it. And so they are going to lose a point there. So we're going to have 2 points going into the feeding guide. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to check that. So for a 20-pound dog, they're saying 1 to 1.5 cups. And let's see if we can find the calorie per cup. We may have to go back to that, that graphic from earlier. So let's see what calories per cup we have. 430 kcals per cup, so 1 to 1.5. We're looking for a 363 to about 538 calorie spread. That's what we want. So they're saying 430, which is still pretty close, up to 0.5, 645. So it's a little bit excessive in the upper ends, but all in all, pretty close. So I'm going to give them a point there. That's going to bring them 3 points going into the guaranteed analysis. Let me adjust this lighting really quick. And so this is where we got into some of the problems and why we needed clarification. As you can see, what they list on their website is only the guaranteed analysis, and it's just quite limited. And so they're giving us a protein minimum, a fat minimum, a fiber maximum, a moisture maximum, iron, and niacinamide. I don't know why they chose to give those two parameters, iron and niacinamide, and they chose not to give calcium and phosphorus. Typically, we know what that means. If they're omitting to give calcium and phosphorus, it's probably because there is maybe something suspect there. And so that's why we wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt and the opportunity to go ahead and provide that information. And that's what we did in the chat. I want to come down here where you can see the calculated metabolizable energy. They're saying that it's a high energy density food. It is not. 4,300 calories is pretty standard. Anywhere between like 3,500 to 4,000 is pretty typical. So I wouldn't call this a calorically dense food. I guess it is a little bit over the 4,000, so maybe like a smidge calorically dense, but I think that might be a little bit of an embellishment. We don't have to do any type of really calculations or anything or corrections because it is so minimally off the standards, but we are going to have to do some corrections to calculate this guaranteed analysis. Now, I want to talk really quick about the chat, and we're going to bring the chat up here really quick to go over some of the questions that I had. The first question that I had was, actually, let me just pull it up here on my phone, and then first question that I asked them, very simple, was, can I get any dry matter basis information on your diets, calcium, phosphorus, protein, fat, and fiber? And, I had to wait for the agent, that was at 1:23, so just kind of give you an idea of the time frame that it took to get these questions asked. And so then, just a couple minutes later, great question. Each formula will have different guaranteed analysis, all of which can be found under the product page guaranteed analysis when scrolling. Okay, I get that answer a lot when I call these companies. The first thing says, oh, it's listed right on the package. Well, no, that's not what I want. That's a guaranteed analysis. That's as fed. I want a dry matter basis. So we clarified, that she did go further to say all of our products are formulated to meet AAFCO guidelines for adult dogs. Okay, great. We kind of already knew that from the AAFCO statement. But I said, that's not exactly what I need. What I was hoping to get was, the dry matter basis. The one you're giving is as fed, and what I specifically want is the calcium phosphorus. That's not listed on your packaging. So she said, oh, okay, well, is it just the calcium phosphorus then you're looking for? If so, which blend? I'm happy to help you get that information. And I said, yes, that's fine. I can do the conversion myself. But if you could get that, that would be great. So, I felt like we were kind of getting on the right track here. I felt like we were headed in the right direction here for a second. And so then she responded, all the protein, fat, and fiber are listed under the guaranteed analysis. We don't have any further information on those since they are listed there. I'm happy to look into the calcium and phosphorus for you. Which blend were you looking into? And so that's when I conceded. And I was like, okay, well, if you can just tell me about, the superfood beef, it would be fine. I can do the conversions, no big deal. So I thought we were getting somewhere. And she said, okay, 3 to 4 minutes. I'll be right back. And, hopefully I'll have that information for you. And it was 3 to 4 minutes passed, and she said, thank you for waiting. And then she said, we do not test for calcium. Superfoods Complete meets the nutritional levels for AAFCO phosphorus, set by AAFCO guidelines. I texted her back. Well, calcium is also required for AAFCO, so do you not have that information? I like the actual numbers for the phosphorus, not just the AAFCO range, because AAFCO is quite large. I want to know what's actually in your diet. And so then she regurgitated again. As mentioned, they all meet AAFCO. All information is required to be all the information that is required to be listed by AAFCO is listed on our website. So basically, we list what we have to list. We're not listing anymore. And so, I tried to be polite. I understand that you meet the requirements. This is a premium food, so I kind of wanted to compare with other brands' actual nutrient information. And she said, well, unfortunately, this is the extent of the information I have provided by the product developers. And so I said, unfortunately, that is unfortunate. And so basically we went from, well, you can just look on the package at the guaranteed analysis. And then we established that we cannot do that. We want dry matter basis and everything is not listed. Then we went to, well, I can assure you everything is within AAFCO range. And then we went to, well, I understand that you're saying it's within AAFCO range, but I'd actually like to know what those numbers are. To, well, we don't test for those numbers. To, I can't provide you with those numbers. This is just what the developers have given me. So that was, that was a big bummer on that. Obviously, again, eye-opening premium brand. They have to know the numbers. I would assume that they know the numbers. Customer service is not privy to those numbers, which means that we're not privy to those numbers. And that really is unfortunate because there are a lot of brands, a lot more economical brands that are providing that information to consumers without having to hound them excessively. Again, if anybody out there in my little nutrition nation wants to go and hound them and get that information, that would be amazing. But it's a bit of a bitter taste and a bit of a bad feeling when we have to do this much work, okay, especially if we're paying this much money and they're saying, that they are not in excess, they are not providing these harmful excesses. Well, how do we know that? Because I have a sneaky suspicion that there probably are some harmful excesses in the calcium and phosphorus if we're not even testing, and we're not supposedly not even testing, or unable to provide that information. Now, we can go ahead and see if this truly is high protein. We can do some math here. So if it's 30% protein minimum, and we don't know the maximum, that's why we don't like to use the guaranteed analysis, we can do that. 35% protein, not horribly high. Now, fat, I'll tell you, is excessively high. Crude fat on a dry matter basis is going to be 33%. That's crazy. Almost as much fat as there is protein. Probably not the best choice for a dog with pancreatitis or prone to pancreatitis, or any dog that might get pancreatitis, which is pretty much every dog. And 5 times... Actually, I might have calculated that fat wrong. One more time. 30%, not 33. Okay, but still outrageously high. Standards, if we pop those up there really quick, now we know we can't do calcium or phosphorus because it's either not tested or unable to be provided. We are high fat, so they are being honest about that. So high that they are losing a point because they are not in the optimal range. So they're not getting a point for that. We're sticking at 3 points for that. The fat we know is going to be way out of range at 30%, so no point for that. Fiber is actually going to be out of range too because it is greater than 5%, so you can lose a point for that. They're going to lose a point for the calcium, and they're going to lose a point for the phosphorus because they could not provide the information. So that Badlands Ranch is only going to score a 3, which for what you're paying, and not actually knowing what you're feeding, so you don't really even know what you're getting. I'm not a fan of that. Now, let's get into the information about the air dried, because that was the other thing. What is the definition of air dried? I don't know. They're saying it's cooked low and slow. Ask them, and we'll pop up the chat window here. Ask them, what does that mean? What temperature are you cooking? And they can't provide that information. But what they can say is that the product is freeze dried raw. Okay. Doesn't say anywhere on here freeze dried raw. We know we do not care for raw on this channel, so I'm actually going to have to deduct them a point now, because I was under the impression that it was cooked low and slow, but we're not. We're actually being told now that it's freeze-dried raw, so now we're going to downgrade this to a 2. And I asked them, well, what safety protocols do you have in place, being that this is raw? I do apologize for the light going in and out here, and I'm trying to adjust it as we go, but we're not in the filming studio, okay? We're in the office. And so she said, well, the air drying process is disinfecting. No, it's not. Freeze drying does not disinfect anything. It's actually a preservation process, and so any bacteria that was in the original food is preserved, and then it is just as virulent once it gets rehydrated. And she does go over with the fact that you have to rehydrate it, et cetera, et cetera. They recommend you rehydrate it. I did see on there that there was pasteurization process, and I do feel like that is probably the disinfecting or sanitizing process. But the customer service agents, had no idea. But the fact that they're saying that it's air dried and then in fact it's actually freeze dried raw is also concerning to me. And everything on this website is just absolutely suspect. And so that's why I said this was absolutely eye-opening. I didn't do all the foods. I just don't understand how. I don't understand how this won any awards. Just the fact that we can't even get a hold of the nutrition information makes me believe that the people that are saying that this is the best food and winning awards are not doing it based on nutrition. And I don't understand why we are doing that. And I don't understand why we're feeding if we're not putting the nutrition in the forefront of our decisions. I get it that you like the superfood situation. I get it that you like the 0 fillers or any of that stuff. I understand that. But if the food is not nutritionally balanced, there's no point in considering it, especially when there's some of this shady stuff, at least what I consider shady stuff going on. So just wanted to kind of air that dirty laundry out for you guys. Tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me if you have a different experience. Tell me if you...
Hey, Dr. Rice?
Yeah?
Are you okay if I schedule a recheck for you at 4:30?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, so I don't remember where I was before I got that phone call, but let me know your thoughts. If you can get more information, we get this, brand maybe a second chance. I don't know. I'm kind of over it. But I did get asked about it a lot, and like I said, I was kind of fed up, and I just wanted to get the information, and in the end, we really weren't able to get the information, but I think that says a lot. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and I hope you will consider liking and subscribing, and we can go on some more of these investigative journeys together. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.